Welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo, episode 19. So, now that arcade mode is complete, and yes, I am mentioning it now because I forgot to mention it in the previous video, we are now officially returning, of course, to simulation mode to get through the A-Class events. So, you may remember in the previous segment we got through the Clubman Cup, and well, now we are officially going to move on to the other A-Class event in the GT League, the Gran Turismo Cup. But before we do that, you may essentially think I will use my TRD 3000 GT again, like I did for the Clubman Cup. And well, unfortunately, because obviously I beg to differ, I'm going to try something else. So, I am going to try using we are going to try to use this. The Mazda F&E RX-7 A-Spec Touring Kit. And well, in terms of colours, I did think about this, and it does come very close, essentially between red and yellow, but again, because Initial D, I am going to try this car in yellow. You know, just because I want to conduct an experiment, and I'm also wanting to see if I will be successful. So, just doing the usual tuning, because I speculate I will probably need it. Putting on the sports brakes, also putting on the racing chip, and port grinding, 6 power 4, 6 grand, no, not this time, no, not this time. And also this car must be a turbo. Well, don't think I need to do any upgrades on the transmission just yet. But again, I'm putting on some additional power, so racing intercooler, and I'm also putting on a stage 2 turbo. Because, as I found out, of course, the Gran Turismo Cup has 4 races. And I do apologise if I mistakenly thought it was 3. It is 4 races for the Gran Turismo Cup. So, I'm essentially just experimenting a bit. Also, because essentially I haven't officially used an RX-7 in this game yet, so I just thought about it and I decided I was going to do a little experiment to see if it would work. Yeah, I think I'll be okay from that. I think I've done enough to this car. So, let's head over to the race events. As we are now doing our second A-Class event, the Gran Turismo Cup. Pit yourself against top-class drivers in this high-caliber battle. Caliber battle, fought with hard-tuned cars. So, 4 races in the Gran Turismo Cup. Yeah, I have no idea why I said caliper over caliber. Yeah, it's clearly caliber, not caliper. Well, guess I'm just misreading. But anyways, so 4 races in the Gran Turismo Cup, as we have Grand Valley, Deep Forest, Special Stage Route 5, and then it concludes at Trial Mountain. This time we get 5 grand if we can put this car on the pole for one of the races. The championship bonus is 25 grand, and also if we can win one race, we will essentially win 10 grand. So essentially, if my maths is correct, I would say from this we would probably win a maximum of about 85 grand if everything goes perfectly, which I doubt it will. So obviously, you know, if I qualify last, then essentially I'm just not going to bother with quali. But anyways, it is now time for the Gran Turismo Cup. Let's see how terrible this goes, but hopefully we can succeed. Compared of course to these AI, I am officially well off the pace, because I am at least 6 seconds off the 4th place car, and essentially overall it's the NSX on the pole ahead of the Viper. The GTO MR is 3rd, then we have the Skyline ahead of the Supra. And well, as for me, I am going to conduct some serious tuning, because I know for sure that if I'm 6 seconds off the pace, I've virtually got no chance of winning. So let's head back over to the tuning shop. Master Tuning Shop, and of course I'm going to head back over there because essentially overall I discovered in qualifying I was well off the pace. And well, as for this, I've also discovered I am really going to need the big boys. So I'm going to fit a stage 3 turbo this time, because I've noticed of course that most of these AI in the field are at least probably more than 500 horsepower, which is essentially why I'm putting on that, and also yeah, fuck it, I'll just put it on, just for the extra power. And also, should I put on engine balancing? Fuck it, why not? And hopefully this time I may be competitive enough to at least give myself some strength. And well, just because I'm stubborn, I'll put on the stage 2 weight reduction as well. So yeah, we shall now head back over to the Gran Turismo Cup to see how we do in qualifying. End of qualifying, and significantly overall, despite this car, I have learned of course being harder to control when the power is increased. Essentially overall, I have definitely done some critical tuning to notably put this car down to the margins of where it currently is, because notably overall I was originally 6.7 seconds off the pace, and because of the engine tuning I did, I am now significantly only 2.7 seconds off the pace. But of course it has proven that notably I am not going to qualify again, because well, I qualified last and I did anticipate of course this was the sort of thing that I anticipated was going to happen. But again, that's only my qualifying pace. Hopefully my race pace will be stronger. So the Honda NSX Type S0 is on the pace, is on the pole, ahead of the Dodge Viper GTS. The Toyota Supra RZ is 3rd, followed of course by the Impreza Sedan STI in 4th. Then we have the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4 GSR in 5th, and there's me in my Mazda RX-7 FD A-Spec in last. But again, even though I'm not going to be qualifying for the rest of the championship, qualifying pace is not as important as race pace. and also that Evo 4 is in black. And... oh, okay. But anyways. So already race pace is proving to currently be strong, and almost losing the rear end to the gravel trap. But thankfully at least I did manage to save it just before entering the corner, as of which I am definitely getting loose. And oh, okay, and already the NSX has just gone off into the grass. I was not expecting that to happen. And now I'm suspecting he'll probably fight his way through the field, but anyways. So, 3 laps this time of pretty much every one of these circuits, since we are clear, of course, of the 2-lap events. These events, of course, are now officially 3 laps, you know, because essentially overall it is an increase in the race length by 1 lap. And I, of course, am still bouncing, and just as I predicted, I now have a reasonable margin overall to what I think is the Viper, probably in second. Considering the NSX had respectively spun off into the grass just before we entered the second hairpin, and already I have an advantage. So my race pace is proving to be significantly stronger than my qualifying pace. Third again, I almost lose it to the gravel trap again. But, okay, correction, it's actually the Evo 4 that is in second at the moment. Followed, I think, by the Toyota Supra RZ in third, and then it's probably the Impreza fourth ahead of the NSX, and probably the Viper in last. So, whoever is officially at the back of this field is definitely not having a good race, and I'm doubting it's probably the Lancer or the Impreza, because they are definitely doing better on race day than they were in qualifying. Considering notably overall, I am heading through the second tunnel now, onto the bridge, and also heading through the third tunnel as I nearly lose the rear end again, simply proving, of course, how difficult this car is to control with there being an increase in power. But again, it does at least show that my race pace is significantly stronger than my qualifying pace, and also braking early because I don't want to end up being stationary in the same spot again, since I did essentially spin on the entry to the first hairpin. Right before the entry, and whoever is at the back must really be struggling. And I do wonder if that is the NSX at the back. Well, I could be wrong, but... well, essentially, I could be wrong, but... it could be contradictory towards the NSX probably being at the back. It could even be the Viper if I was really going to be specific, but anyways. Across the bridge I go for the third and final time entering the third tunnel, pretty much the last turn before the chicane, as I of course essentially have a healthy lead over the Evo 4. Then I think it's probably either the Supra or the Impreza that's in third, and then I think it's probably the Viper in fifth ahead of the NSX. Well, we will just find out as soon as the race is complete, and I'm getting a lot of bounce, but it is race number 1, victory for the FD. So I win race 1 as my Mazda RX-7 FD, and now after the race I do officially spin almost into the gravel trap. But thankfully at least it was after the race was already complete. So the Lancer Evo 4 had eventually finished the race in second, ahead of the Toyota Supra RZ, who was third. Then it was the Viper ahead of the NSX, and in last it was the Impreza Sedan STI, which is precisely what SD is short for. Yeah, STI 3. So that was race 1, and surprisingly in just the course of 3 laps I've managed to put myself on some agreeable race pace. But I'm assuming it must be because my main competition must have probably spun before completing the first part of lap 1. But anyways, it is now time for race 2 at Deep Forest. So I'm not going to qualify because I have a feeling I will just be last. So this is now the race. And can I win it? We will just have to wait and see. But it already looks like at the moment we have definitely got a shake-up for this championship. This is now race 2 of the Gran Turismo World Cup, and I'm already making contact with the Impreza. So the NSX is currently in the lead, ahead of the Impreza, then it's the Viper in 4th, and then I think it's the Supra ahead of the Lancer Evo 4. And managing to avoid spinning into the grass once again, considering this car is very difficult to control. Just trying to keep it under control for these next 3 laps, as I of course am right behind the NSX, and I've managed to avoid using the curb, and it looks like the NSX got a little bouncy there on the straight. And that of course in full effect has allowed me to take the advantage. But again, I too am bouncing. Considering the circuit does have some bumps. And well, fortunately at least, it doesn't look like the bumps are affecting the FD too much. As of which I am managing to hold on to the lead, even though I am bouncing a bit, and it doesn't look like the NSX is spinning this time. But again, I too could easily spin somewhere around here, and that of course could effectively cost me victory if I do that. Although fortunately at least, I am able to keep this car under control, despite the circuit being relatively bumpy in certain areas. I am still at the helm of the machine. I am officially managing to keep this car under control. As we now head on to our third and final lap, and I already have an advantage over the NSX at the moment. But again, if I spin, then essentially overall I could easily finish in second. Well, try my hardest to avoid making the mistakes, although unfortunately I'm still making the mistakes anyway. Even though for the moment I do currently have the advantage over the NSX. And it looks like everything for race 2 is going to go relatively well, unless I spin in the dying moments. Then essentially overall I will probably finish in second, but hopefully that will not be the case. And I'm running wide, and because of this car bouncing a lot, but also surprisingly the NSX is bouncing quite a bit. Surprisingly, I actually don't think victory will be as costly, but well, it doesn't matter, I'm still going to win race 2 anyway. So it is 2 out of 4 for the Mazda. And this time we have a completely different field. Sorry, a completely different packing order of the standings, as the NSX has now moved up into second. The Lancer Evo 4 GSR has dropped down to third. The Supra is tied on points with the Viper, and also the Impreza, surprisingly in this race, had managed to finish in third. So there is definitely a shuffle in the point standings just behind me, and it also means of course that effectively if I can win race 3 and also if the standings shuffle again, then respectively overall I could be confirmed as the champion. Effectively. But now it is time for us to move on to race 3. Special stage route 5. So, not going to qualify because I know I will just be last. But in terms of the race pace, that is a completely different story. And surprisingly, from before when I thought I was underpowered, surprisingly I am now officially overpowered. But again, I'm not going to change anything, because I could still easily lose if I make a mistake, considering this car itself is definitely hard to control with just my 2 hands and thumbs alone. But anyways, let's head to race 3 and see how we go. Hopefully we can make it 3 out of 4. If we are fortunate enough, of course. And I'm already making contact with the Evo 4. And oh dicks, my FD is bouncing alright. It was definitely bouncing through the tunnel, I'm not denying that. And already made some contact with the Impreza. And I of course am already up into third, and oh shit, okay, that's the wall. But somehow the Supra managed to give me a push. So I am now back up into third, even though essentially I am still spinning around a lot. I'm trying to avoid the curbs, that's precisely what I do. And also the NSX is battling for first with the Viper at the moment. So Oh, there's contact. There was definitely contact there through the chicane. But it looks like the Viper has got the NSX. These two are definitely having a good old scrap for first. Meanwhile, I of course am currently in third, and I have just reached my maximum speed. And already making contact with the NSX, and also making contact with the wall. And contact with the wall again. And I'm dicing now with the Viper. And also, to prevent myself from spinning, I had to slam on the brakes pretty much. Because essentially, there are definitely some bumps around the circuit. And that's essentially the main reason on why I'm keeping myself prepped for what exactly this course may have in store for me. And, oh fuck. Yep, I definitely got pushed by the NSX there. I was definitely getting a push there from the NSX. As it probably doesn't look like I'm officially going to win race 3. But again, I am on the brakes. Just before entering the tunnel, and I of course have gone wide. And just pretty much fighting for control, because I know very well this car definitely has a tendency of spinning. And well, for the moment I'm currently holding on to the lead. And I just spun on the exit of the hairpin. Yep, okay, well, I definitely fucked up there. But, well, if I'm going to lose to anyone, it might as well be the Viper. Because essentially overall, even though the Viper is not my favourite, car, I do have respect in saying that I have officially lost this race to the boy. Oh, I might be able to get him. Can I get him? Okay, yes I can. I got him right at the last moment. I got him at the line. I got the Viper on the line. And this of course has caused yet another shuffle in the championship standings, as surprisingly we now have the Viper up into second, ahead of the NSX. The Supra is fourth, and then we have the Evo 4 in fifth, and also the Impreza sedan is in last. So mathematically I have already clinched the championship, because even if I finish in last I will still be confirmed the champion by 7 points respectively. But this is definitely going to be an interesting dice to see who will officially clinch second in this championship. And still, it must be said, that was a good race. That was some good shit right there. So I'm now just going to save the replay, considering I do have to keep saving and then deleting replays again, essentially because the S1 memory card replay data sucks. But anyways, 3 races down, 1 to go. It is now time for the 4th and final race of the Gran Turismo Cup, Trial Mountain. So not going to qualify because I know with this bouncy boy I will just be last. And so it is going to be very interesting to see who will officially clinch second in this championship, because 4 cars are in contention for clinching second. Well, as for me, I've already clinched this championship. So I'm basically just going to be in it for the ride at this point. But anyways, it is now time for the 4th and final race of the GT Cup. It is time for Trial Mountain. And it looks like the NSX at the moment has already opened up a cushion to the Viper, and I am already bouncing, even though obviously I'm not bouncing on the curves. Also because, FYI, Trial Mountain in this game is also a rather bumpy course as well. There are definitely some bumps on this course. That is one thing I can guarantee. But it is going to be interesting to see who will officially finish in second, because there are officially 4 cars in contention for finishing second, mathematically. Because there was literally only 3 points, and almost spinning into the grass, but I do manage to save it in the end. As of which the NSX is right there in the lead, and oh, there's contact. There was definitely contact there as I clipped the wall. Or the grass, whichever way you want to put it. And I am getting bullied by the NSX. And I was not going to get to the inside. Because, well, this car, very much like my 3000 GT, definitely wants to bounce a lot. Oh crap. It's alright, we're fine. I'm still in contention. We are going good. We are going good. At the moment it looks like the Viper is currently in second, and very much looking like he could very well take the win in this race, because I don't think my FD has officially got the pace in order to officially overtake the Viper, at least in terms of the chassis anyway. And I fucked up because I touched the bank. I definitely touched the bank. And it looks like the Viper at the moment is starting to eke out an advantage. And stepping on the brakes, because obviously I'm not brave enough to go through there virtually flat out. And for the moment I'm currently holding on to second. Whilst at the same time I am also fighting this car for control. Which is a very hard thing to do, if I'm being completely honest. And the NSX is starting to catch back up to me again. As it now looks like this will probably be the race where I lose, because I know for sure I am not going to get the hairpin right. Oh, there's contact. Yep, okay, that Viper was definitely pushing me. Well, I guess this is officially where the winning streak ends, but fortunately, for me at least, I have already clinched the championship, so obviously So obviously, it really doesn't matter if I finish in second or lower, because the point is, I will still have the win I have still won the championship regardless, and this is officially the first time where I have displayed my FD officially losing a race. But again, I had a feeling that if there was going to be any circuit I would not win on, then it would have to be Trial Mountain. So that has officially settled the championship. So I have won 3 out of 4 races, and I have also scored a total of 33 points. The Dodge Viper GTS has eventually finished in second as a result of winning this race with 21 points. The Honda NSX Type S0 eventually ended this championship in third, 2 points clear of the RZ. And then it was the Mitsubishi, 2 points behind the Supra, but also 4 points ahead of the Impreza sedan, who was eventually last. So 33, 21, 15, 13, 11 and 7 are your final point standings for the Gran Turismo Cup. So there we go. The experiment has proven to be a success. So 7 grand for winning, and already saved the replay, so don't need to do that again. And also, because this is the GT League, 25 grand for winning. So, as I was saying, because this is the GT League, I only really have to win, as my trophy, 1 prize car from the GT League events, or from most of them anyway. And so there we go. The Gran Turismo Cup is now complete, and where I of course have officially won 3 out of 4 races. So let's check out our prize car, and that is this, the Toyota Chaser LM Edition. Excuse me. Oh, that is nice. That is one sweet ass ride right there. So yeah, that is the prize car we win from the Gran Turismo Cup. And also, furthermore, I really like that number 8 with those white fenders and also with those mirrors. That's actually a nice car, must be said. But yeah, anyways, saving the game now. And there we go. So, that was the Gran Turismo Cup. Next up is the UK versus Japan Championship. So, stay tuned for more GT1.